Okay, perfect. Would you like to do the same?
I appreciate your friend.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
No, that'd
sorry,
be kind of a
No problem.
that'd be kind of a poor move on
Give
people's
me
parts.
1 second.
Doesn't we do a mic check?
Yeah.
Once you're done with Vanna White.
Alright, I'm good. I appreciate it, bro.
Alright, let me do a quick mic check.
Yeah, man.
And I'll return the favor for you so I can do it.
Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I'm good.
Good. Yep.
Alright.
All right, welcome to my press conference. Can you hear me okay? I'm talking, just making sure the audio sounds good. Yeah.
Test 1 2 1 2 check 1 2. One, two, three. Check 1 2.
So much history over there.
It really is.
Did you find it?
They did. And that's the beam. That beam, if you see it, it's over there. Yeah. Bob Kimberlake signed it. Person that signed
Gave us a breeze too. I mean, you're full of surprises on Friday.
Oh, yes, sir.
We'll let you get on this real quick and will have mine on when I'm not speaking. Joe, how many calls?
84.
84. Come on, the mayor show you where it got.
Y'all come on up.
Maybe y'all come stand next to me.
And are we on here? We're there. Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name's Newell Clark. I am mayor of the city of Lexington. And I would ask everyone, before we get started here with our announcement, I did want to simply send a message to our neighbors just a little north of us here. On behalf of the City Council, on behalf of all of our staff and all of our citizens, we just want to send our thoughts and prayers to Winston-Salem and the tragedies that they experienced this past week, and their families and all the officials there. They're in our hearts and prayers. Just wanted to send that to them. With that, I did want to, again, welcome everyone to the barbecue capital of the world. And I know some people want to argue that sometimes, but we know for sure, without question, that during the month of October, the epicenter of all things that are barbecue take place right here in Lexington. And today we have an announcement that we wanted to share with everyone. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the executive director, the organizer of the Lexington Barbecue Festival, Miss Stephanie St. Cyr Nassif.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. I want to recognize a few of the folks behind me. Michael Conrad, Barbecue Center. Roy and Boyd Dunn, Speedy's Barbecue. Scott and Kathy Pope, Smoky Joe's. And Dan Stamey from Stamey's Barbecue. Of course, we have the police chief, fire department, city council member. Thank you all for being here today. After months of consultation with local officials, sponsors, and official festival restaurants, the 2021 Barbecue Festival, set for October 23rd, will be postponed. It was a difficult decision, but one we ultimately concluded was the responsible and necessary decision to make. And I'm going to read the remainder of this prepared statement. Currently, the barbecue restaurants are facing significant labor and supply chain challenges. The restaurant owners unanimously decided that they could not meet the enormous challenge of preparing and serving thousands of pounds of barbecue for the festival this year. And we respect that decision. They remarked, with our deepest regret, due to supply chain challenges, the current labor shortage, and concerns with the ongoing pandemic, we will not be able to participate in the Barbecue Festival this year. We look forward to celebrating our world-famous barbecue heritage again in 2022. And again, that's from Smoky Joe's, Barbecue Center, Speedy's, and Stamey's Barbecue. Here's another statement from me. Compounding the problem is the current exponential surge of COVID-19 cases within our community. Based on current trends, we feel it would not be in the best interest of our community to invite more than 100,000 people from across the country to converge on our city when the Delta variant is so prevalent. So that we can continue to shine a spotlight on our amazing community, we do plan to host a few smaller scale options and opportunities to celebrate. Details about those events will be released in the coming weeks. On behalf of our sponsors, partners, volunteers, and the hundreds of people that make this festival happen each year, we want to say thank you for your understanding and your continued steadfast support. Please save the date for the 38th Annual Barbecue Festival, as we fully intend to host the most exciting barbecue festival ever on Saturday, October 22nd, 2022. Thank you very much. We'll now entertain questions.
Manning from News 2. One of the questions that I have for y'all, you said you've been in the process. Can y'all hear me? Perfect. You've been in the process so far of meeting with people in the government, with the city health officials. When did you guys come to this conclusion that it was the best to postpone at this time?
Great question. This week, it's been on our minds really heavily the last couple of weeks as we've watched the pandemic surge through our community, and we think this is the best decision. We know it's the best decision for our community.
And also as well, the planning of the barbecue festival, as soon as the last one's over, Stephanie and the restaurants and the city, we all come together and we start planning it right away. So the work's been going and ongoing. The planning has been there, but with the recent surge that we've seen, with low vaccination numbers, we know that public safety is something that it's always paramount for us as a community. And you've got to think about it. When we have the Lexington Barbecue Festival, we become the 7th most populated city in the entire state of North Carolina. And we can't think like a small community. We have to think like one of our metro communities. And public health is something that we are very conscious of. And that was one of the major factors that Stephanie mentioned as well. We kept evaluating these, of course, in constant consultation with our restaurants and their challenges that they do have. But that decision was a couple phone calls ago, a couple days ago, and a couple meetings. But it was very recent that we did come to that final conclusion.
Brandon Blakey, Fox 8 News. What kind of economic impact do you foresee this having on the local community?
Sure. Our Lexington Tourism Authority did a study a couple years back in terms of what this means to Lexington and Davidson County, and I also mean the Triad. As I always say, this is one of the premier events for the Triad. It's not just for Lexington, but it is about a $9 million impact to our local community when you start looking at gas tax, visiting, hotel visits, the visits to our restaurants and so forth, but it's around a $9 million impact on that single day. That's, as Stephanie mentioned, there's still some plans in terms of during the month of October, what can we do that are safe. As you can imagine, and if you've ever visited our barbecue festival, our main street is open. Folks are able to come in. There's really no way for us to monitor the amount of people that are coming in. And also, if we did do a mask mandate, how are we going to even control that with 150,000 people in a given day? So again, it logistically becomes very hard. So our plans are to what can we do in a scalable event. We're going to monitor, of course, what's going on with the pandemic and COVID-19. We all are concerned with Labor Day coming up and additional spikes that might happen. So we're going to have to evaluate that as we go through. But the plan is to continue, if we are able to have safe events, such as at our amphitheater that is a more controlled environment. We can control the amount coming in, coming out. It is a gated facility in that sense. So we are evaluating what those can be. I do remind folks that we are still open and serving barbecue every day. So still come down and visit us because our world famous barbecue is available to us all the time. But the festival is something that's special. It's been going on, as we all know, for well over 35 years. It means something to Lexington and, for that sake, to North Carolina. It's a major premier event. It is not without a lot of anguish, a lot of discussion. How could we make this happen? How could we keep people safe? But at the end of the day, we know we're doing the right thing for the general public.
Cassandra Lockhart, Davis Local. Are there ways that people can continue to support barbecue restaurants during this time?
Absolutely. I'm going to let the restaurant speak to that. Who wants to come up? Don't be shy. Kathy Cope with Smoky Joe's.
Hey, just want to take this opportunity this morning to tell everyone that this was not an easy decision for us to make. We met Tuesday and we just didn't have what we needed. There were so many variables with supply chain issues. Most definitely, we are all suffering from lack of employees. Actually, I've got 7 out right now in quarantine. Most of those are high school students. If you know, Davidson County had a really bad situation when school started. They did not have a mask mandate. Therefore, a lot of us employ the high school students, and they're home and they're quarantining or they're sick, and it was just, we just couldn't see a way that we could safely be a part of this event this year with everything that's going on right now. We also met with Davidson County Department of Health and Human Services, and right now Davidson County is holding at about 20%, and that's really high for infected people. And again, we just want to say that we're sorry. We do feel like we're letting people down, but safety comes first for us, and that's what we have to strive for. Thank you.
One other point I wanted to make, and these restaurant owners are amazing people. They work so hard every day, and when it comes to the festival, they've got to really ramp up and hire 35 to 40 additional people each for the festival, and so that really presented a challenge this year. I also want to recognize that we lost one of our festival friends at Speedy's Barbecue, Robbie Johnson. Roy Dunn's stepson passed away months ago from COVID, and so that really pulls at our heartstrings. We miss him so much, and it was so sad to lose him to this horrible disease, this horrible pandemic. And so we want to think about Robbie today and think about the Speedy's family as they're still enduring this loss. Questions?
I was going to say, I can definitely feel the somberness of the situation. And this was not an easy decision, as you guys have said. How do you feel knowing that now it is out there, it has been postponed? What are you guys feeling at this moment?
Well, I'm feeling relief, certainly. I think we were from a planning standpoint, we're 50 days out. And I thought it was really important that we go ahead and make this announcement in an effort to support our vendors, people that were making travel plans. We didn't want to hold up this decision any longer, so we weren't making a last minute decision out of respect for everybody involved. So, we're relieved, and we're honestly going to focus our energy, towards 2022 at this point.
What message do you guys have for those who may be disappointed here in the news today?
Everyone locally and in the Triad, and we, as I said before, folks come from all over to the Lexington Barbecue Festival. They look forward to it. And one of the things that we are known for in Lexington is family-friendly, safe events. And that is truly what our barbecue festival is. It is a family-friendly event, and we got to make sure that folks are safe. We got to make sure our children are safe, our elderly citizens are safe that come and visit and walk up and down our main street. So the message that I simply would share to them is we are taking precautions for your health and the community's health, and we would urge that all citizens do the same thing. We would ask that they take the precautions that they need to take to protect their own families, to protect their neighborhoods, and protect their community, their city, and their county. So there's a part of it that the message is that we know that we're setting the example of what the community should be doing at large. As far as the festival, it will live on. As I said, barbecue is king here in Lexington. It will continue to be king in Lexington, and we want to support our restaurants, continue to go by. It's a team effort, and you see that today. I'm not just standing up here by myself. You see the restaurants behind me, you see public safety, you see the organizers, council is here as well. I see Robin Bivens in the back, our tourism director. It's a family team event, and it takes all of us to do this. And when you have one area that's right now struggling, whether that's employment or supply chain issues, if you see another area in terms of public health where that is a major issue, all of that kind of comes together, and collectively we had to make a decision together, and that's where we got to. We would ask folks to continue to make themselves safe, their community safe, and that's how we get ahead of this. That's how we get to the place to where all of our events do not end with a press conference and us postponing it simply because we haven't gotten our arms around a pandemic that we have the ability to do collectively. If we take our personal responsibility seriously and we take care of ourselves and our family, then that's going to help us as a community, and we can get this. Honestly, I never would have thought a year ago when we postponed it and we knew we had to. I mean, folks were home. We were in our houses. We were all quarantined. I really didn't think this was going to be the issue today, but we're seeing the spike. We're seeing the variant running rampant. We're seeing what those numbers are being advised by our health department here, and we have to be safe about that. But my hope and my message to the community is, folks, let's work together. Take care of ourselves, personal responsibility, so we're not standing here next year, so we all can gather as a family again and celebrate our heritage.
Hey Steph, I have a question.
Sure.
It's the second year you guys have had to cancel. How is this economically for the organization?
Yeah.
I know you had a lot of deposits. Are you going to have to return deposits? Yeah, how is that
Sure.
financially going to happen?
So it definitely puts a strain on the festival financially, but I think that's really secondary to us making the right decisions for our community. And we want to be part of the solution. We don't want to exacerbate the problem. And I think ultimately that's what it came down to. I mean, of course we wanted to have this festival. Nobody here wanted to postpone or cancel, but collectively and unanimously we decided it was the best choice.
So is it going to impact how things are in the future? Like, will there be next year less because of the economic impact?
I don't think so. I think sponsors will come on board to help us emerge better than ever in 22. And so that's my hope, that our sponsors will stick by us and support us as we weather this storm. Any other questions?
Is there any more information that we should be pertinent to, or anything else anyone would like to say?
Restaurants, you have anything else? I don't think so. Brittany has a copy of the press release. If you'll see Brittany, she'll hand that out to you. And we want to thank you again for joining us this morning and helping us, get this announcement out. Thank you very much.
Educators, people who were supposed to know better, and I'm like, you know better than to capitalize every other word.